Hi, everybody. This is Tom Osa, and I am very pleased to introduce you and welcome you to the first of many new educational videos that we're going to be providing to our valued clients at Rockland Web. Over the past, I'd say 18 and a half years now, we've been building websites for a numerous number of clients across the Hudson Valley. And you see on the screen over 600 clients across the tri-state area. And we still host about 100 to 120 of those websites on our own servers. We host and maintain them, and we stay actively involved with each and every one of our clients to make sure that they can be the best business that they can be online. So my name is Tom Osa. I have my associate Amir with me. He's been very helpful with structuring and keeping in touch with clients. And again, this is going to be the first video. I'm going to aim to keep these really short in the future, but we're going to just do a quick overview of our main system that we've been supporting for the last 17 years, and that is WordPress. And I can duly say, and I'm just gonna like take my dialogue to the next level about this. When I first started my business 18 years ago, I had no idea where it was going to go. And I'm very thankful that it has gone in the direction that it has. I have to say that one of the things that we definitely aim to do early on in our digital history is to align with the best in show brands. And one of them, absolutely, by far, is WordPress. WordPress accounts for approximately 42% of all websites that are built in the digital world to this day. It is an open source programming. It's governed by a license that allows you to design, build, and extend it into whatever you want it to be. And those that have supported and created with WordPress are also very astute at helping the various clients that are with us and with our other developers to be able to help them to grow their business, because yeah, we know how to use the darn thing. We use it on our own website. We use it on a variety of other websites. Here's EasyTemp. We have Yahoo Fence, great clients of ours. We have JD Ultra Care. And you're seeing the theme that we love to use. We have our Genesis 25 theme on all of these websites. North Rockland Chamber of Commerce. What else do we got? One of my favorites, nurse4kids.com. It's an organization that helps families to connect with nurses for children with medically fragile conditions. And we support all these websites with content, search engine optimization. We do some social media, and we also create some very, very awesome applications in the midst of it, and very cost effective as well. So this is the kickoff to all of the different videos that are going to be out there. Now, for the sake of time, I want you to know that the things that I bring up during these tutorials, they're not going to be 100% perfect. And the reason why is I want to go with a spirit of authenticity for all the videos that I put out there. And sometimes I'm going to backtrack. Sometimes I'm going to say, actually, that's not accurate. This is accurate. And I'll go back in time a little bit. For the sake of time, we're going to do very, very minimal editing on these videos. We're just going to tell it raw and like it is. I might throw in some stupid jokes. I'm sorry in advance. And I'll also bring in some anecdotes of things that happened over the course of the last 18 years, maybe with our clients, maybe with our own companies, that helped us to really learn how to grow digital businesses, not just ours, but our clients. And there is a core philosophy that we follow here at Rock Web Systems, and it's work smarter, not harder. Here's another one of our brands that we've built from scratch. And basically the idea is, we could work as hard as we need to at the job. We could pull 18, 24 hours. That doesn't mean that we're going to be able to get ahead of everybody in terms of, the bottom line dollar or whatever, or success, or affluence, or whatever our personal goals are. We could work as much as we want to, and we may not get to the place that we want to be if we're just doing that road out work. But the better concept here is to find the places where we can be smarter and more intelligent with our efforts so that we can do things not just effectively, but efficiently as well. And that's something that's going to be threaded directly into all of this learning material. And again, we'll make mistakes along the way, but I'm very happy that you're here to join us on this quest for more knowledge so that you can run a very good quality digital business. So we're going to get started with this intro, and quite frankly, it's only going to take a few minutes to give you kind of like a quick overview of all the cool stuff that comes right out of the box with your WordPress website. And I would venture to say, and we talk with all of our clients, but I would venture to say that if you're watching this video, I think your eyes are going to be open. It's like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize I could do that with my own website that Rock Web Systems built us. And if you need anything else, obviously give us a call, but we want to put this information out there so that you can do it on your own, do it yourself. And especially if there's things that are happening in the world and money goes up and down, and it's a woozy and it's a wazy, it's cool. You still have a lot of stuff where you can manage it Ralph Waldo Emerson style. All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to head into our own dashboard, okay? So the dashboard is honestly not that useful. And the reason why is there's just a plethora of different things that are on here that you really don't need to look at on a daily basis. But I do recommend that when you log in, especially I'm going to recommend to you on a weekly basis, at least once, I'm leaning in for dramatic effect, so that you can look at some of the reports that are provided to you in the WordPress dashboard. And by far, the two most important things are on the left-hand side. By default, we install your website statistics in every single website that we build. That's included in every project. So here you see just some basic numbers. Page views over the last 30 days, we had about 3,000, 481 individual sessions, 1 minute and 42 seconds for the people that came over there. But this is the real number here, 525 users that actually went to the site separately. They may have returned, and there's, not the best bounce rate, quite frankly, but the other 28% are our potential clients. And when they contact us, when they fill out the form, our team, including Amir, who's with us today, as well as Sean and several other of our team members, can get back to you in a very expedient fashion. Now, that's one of the setups that is really important for you to be checking out, I would say on a weekly basis. So consider that. The easy way of doing it is just drop it in your calendar, like, over a cup of coffee, 8:30 in the morning on a Friday or a Monday or a Wednesday, whatever your schedule works out to be. Get it in the calendar and, just basically take a look at those statistics because they're really useful. The other is security. And if you look on the right-hand side, another application that we install all the time is WordFence. WordFence is the #1 security tool for WordPress websites. Now, I have to say, sometimes we get lucky and we just happen to come across the best in show plugins. Excuse me. And about, I don't know, maybe like about 6 or 7 years ago, we basically looked for the best security application out there, and we settled in on WordFence. And it's fantastic. We installed a free version for every website that we do for our clients. And you see some of the results of it here. It basically goes to work and blocks the bad guys. Now, I'm not saying that any of these countries are actually bad guys, but the people that are bad that came over to the website happened to be in these countries at the time. Even our own country. Rogue, terrible. All right. I don't even know where Seychelles is. I don't know, but it's cool. All right. Seychelles, rock on. But I don't like these 15, 16, 19, 34, and 42 individuals. but I don't have to worry because they've already been blocked from the website. So you got a really, really strong security tool that prevents different places, different people from going in and trying to take over your website. Funny little anecdote. And I'm going back like about, I don't know, 11 or 12 years, but I happened to be at a client's and I was talking with them about this, that, and the other, and they were happy and everything like that. And I says, and you got to check out our own website. All right. Now we didn't have our security tools in there at that point. No, we didn't have those security tools in there at that point 10 years ago. I think I'm setting this up properly. Anyway, so I decided on my PowerPoint presentation to basically click through to our Rockland's web design website. And lo and behold, we had some objectionable material that showed up on the screen. Hackers got into our website and they basically put up stuff that can probably end up in an Andy Warhol movie in the 1960s before he had his 15 minutes of fame. You might have to Google that. But basically, it was very embarrassing for us, and we decided to retool and go back and say, all right, guys, now we're going to focus on security. Again, 10 years ago, and we started specifically with our own website. And that's part of the journey where WordFence, ultimately, we settled in on the best security tool. We didn't have to write the code for this anymore. We were able to just have a very reliable, best-in-show company be able to bring this in. So WordFence is a really great tool. Those are the two places that you certainly want to focus on when you're going to log into the website. Monster Insights, as well as the WordFence dashboard. Now, if you don't happen to see the WordFence dashboard when you first log in, if you scroll down on the left-hand side, you'll see the WordFence tool, and we configure this for you by default every time that we start up a website project. But we have a tool here that allows you to scan if there's any vulnerabilities. We give you the ability to block various countries and various nefarious individuals that may be trying to get into your website. So all those things are pretty much covered for you. But if you need to see the WordFence plugin, it's right there when you first log into your website. And just as a reminder, that is the free plugin. Now, the difference between the free plugin and the premium plugin is a matter of, I think, $129, if I'm not, $149, tariffs. Anyway, so basically, if you install that, what it does is instead of waiting 30 days to protect yourself from like the threats, because like a new version of all the threats gets loaded up by WordFence into your application, what happens is you get instantaneous protection. As soon as WordFence finds out about it, they're instantaneously going to load it into your website to make sure that it is indeed protected. Okay, so next thing, and again, this is just an overview of the dashboard for WordPress. We're going to head back to the dashboard. And now what I'd like to do is just give you the quick overview of all the most important features of WordPress. Consider it your core. And if you want to learn more about this, I have a few books that if you're a part of this course, we're going to provide to you for free. All you have to do is request it by sending an email to support@rocklandsweb.com. And we'll get those books over to you for free. But let's see if I could find the darn thing here. Just hang on 1 minute. I'm going to look for it. It's available on Amazon. Actually, let me Google it. Make it easier. How to Program Your Life. Mimosa. Boom. Okay, so this is back in 2007. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is not so that you could get sales or anything. Again, we're going to provide this to you for free if you're in this course. But basically, there are some great tips in here on how to use your WordPress site. Literally inside of the table of contents, there's a whole set of chapters for website, blog, email newsletter, Some of it's outdated, quite frankly, because it was done in like 2016, I think, but it does give you a good foundation for all the stuff that you need to know, especially that dashboard, and especially the three most important things that you can do. And again, I'm going to recommend this every time that we get into these courses. I'm going to recommend to you, the business owner or the professional, I'm going to recommend to you that every single week you log into your WordPress website minimum for 30 minutes a week. And you're going to do, in some way, shape, or form, those top three most important things. And let's get into it right now. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to head over to the posts area. What are posts? Well, those are your blogs. Those are your news. Those are the things that you are telling your audience what is going on with your business. Because if a business cuts and runs or a business hides, believe you me, they're not going to be in business for long. You got to continually inform your clientele on what is going on inside of your business. I'm just showing you some of the things that we do over at Rockland's Web. We have articles on AI, digital media, and they're written by our Rockland's Web team. You should be doing the same exact things. You should be going on to your blog or your newsletter every single week and at least writing one blog. And I'm going to explain to you in a future video why that's important. And the place where you go in order to do this is inside of the posts area of your WordPress website. So we're going to head to posts, and then what you're going to do is you're going to head to add new post. And then you're just going to write stuff. What are you going to write? Anything that you're okay with sharing to the general public. It could be as something as simple as you were having coffee with a colleague and you were essentially talking about this, that, and the other, and you came across this amazing thought, whatever it might be. Or, and I'm getting a little bit too abstract here, but the point is not necessarily just the content, but the consistency of communication. All right. So let me give you an example. This week, we did our update on the upcoming Rockland's Music Fest that is happening over at Clover Stadium on September 27th of this year. We're going to have 10 bands. It's going to be a really cool time. Not going to get into it too much. If you're interested in a ticket, we'll get one over to you. But I'm going to put an update about that. All right. And I'm not going to write out the whole article, obviously, but simple. Just write Rockland's Web, ears up for digital media campaign for Rockland Music Fest. All right. I could probably do better and make that a smaller title, but for now, whatever. You want to aim for 7 words for the title. Sometimes it could be a little bit overboard, but as long as you get the main point in the title, that's the most important thing. All right. And then underneath here, I'm just going to write, we are excited to begin our campaign for the 2025 Rockland Music Fest. All right. Now, how many words should you write? My recommendation is approximately 750 words. And for those of you that are watching this video and are thinking to yourselves, Madon, how am I going to come up with enough bandwidth to come up with 750 words? My goodness. All right. Now, look, I know it's not easy. All right. I mean, I toiled over the 2 books that I wrote. There's an old saying, I hate writing, but I love having written. I definitely think enthusiasm makes the difference, and ordering your thoughts. But even if you don't have that these days, it's admittedly not a problem, because there's this thing called ChatGPT. in a future video, I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT very easily so that you can write on any topic, industry related to your specific business. And stay tuned for a future video. I'm not going to give away all the secrets in this video. This is just the intro. But we're going to show you how to use ChatGPT so that you can write articles literally in just a few minutes. I am not kidding about this. We have done this at least for the last year and a half. And we have proof positive of it. In case you're curious if I'm BSing, I am not. If you want proof positive, head over to rocklandnews.com. We get press releases from all over the county. We put information out there for a variety of things, good quality things, events, sometimes controversial things, whatever they may be. But the bottom line is we can use ChatGPT and other AI applications such as Claude, yada, yada. We'll talk about that another time. But basically, you can use all these applications to literally write out an article. It's as simple as just dropping in a few bullet points like an outline. So, and I'm just going to say this in the words of Steve Eckert from Peak Physique Personal Fitness, no excuses. No excuses anymore for not writing quality content. Now, getting back to the premise here, we're just rounding out the turn on these draft posts that you're going to be creating. Let's head back in. So I think about 750 words. Each one, every time you hit the enter button, it creates a new block. It's also known as a paragraph, so paragraph here, paragraph there, paragraph everywhere. All right. You could save the draft. Ultimately, the way that we set it up, you hit the blue button, it publishes. I'm actually just going to drop it in to our blog. And we'll go way deeper into this in future weeks. But again, I just want to, enthusiastically communicate what you can do with these WordPress sites. I'm a nerd. I find this stuff fascinating. So basically, we got the blog post on there. Actually, just automatically goes into here. Let's add a picture just for the heck of it because we want to make it spruced up. Set a featured image and drop in, I don't know. Let's get our logo on there. I like our logo. Let's use that one. Okay, set featured image, save, view the post. Boom, there we go. I can adjust that afterwards, no big deal. And there it is. All right. Got to put the right size image in there. We'll talk about that later. All right. So that is how you write a blog post directly into your website. Okay. And that is, just going back to the premise, one of the three main things that you're going to be doing on your dashboard. The second is uploading images. Now, in this day and age, people don't read as much as they used to. They should, but they like pictures, which is where imagery comes in. All right. Now, the good news about this is you have this amazing thing. Instead of hiring a professional photographer, and nothing against professional photographers, I'm talking about like a day-to-day basis doing this, that, and the other, not like when you're doing the photo shoot. Very important. All right. Shout out to Photosynthesis Photo. They're an amazing company and they do great commercial photography. Side note, I recommend them to all of our clients. But you also have this amazing device right in your pocket most days. It's called a phone. All right. And basically, you take out the phone and you take pictures of things. If you're a contractor, if you're a retail store, if you're a restaurant, I mean, even if you're an educator, let's say, you take courses and everything like that. Who's to say, you just take a picture of the class while the teacher is talking. When I was teaching over at Rockland Bosse's for about 19 years, sometimes the administrators would bring in monitors to make sure that all the teachers were going by the books that were provided by Bosse's. as course material. So, and I kind of like the camera. I shouldn't because I don't know. But, when I was teaching in the front of the room and I was talking with people, there would be people in the back of the room, one person with a notebook and one person with a camera, right? So I'd be like, and this is how you do this. And then, pose for the camera. I wish I had those pictures still, but it's fine. So anyway, so the point is here is that you can do the same thing with the pictures that you take in and around whatever facility you're working at, retail shop or a restaurant. If you're a contractor and you're trying to show to the public the quality work that you do, oh my goodness, train yourself and train your team to take their phone out and take pictures of the finished product and possibly a few pictures of the work as it's being built up. Don't go too deep into that because, again, people like to see the end result. If you're dealing with the consumer and everything like that, you want to see the, kind of like the pretty pictures, but make them real. Okay. That's what I could say about that. Now, how do you load up images? Very simple. You go over to the media tab, click. All right. Add new media file. Click. And then we're just going to add, we did this about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to add this in. And we have this picture of a puppy with Rockland News in the front of it. I don't want to call it exploitation, but you got to admit, it's a really cute puppy. So we probably owe the puppy some royalties. Except this puppy was generated with AI. We used Midjourney in order to create this image. Midjourney is an amazing tool for generating images very easily. That's another video that we're going to do in the future once we get to the AI level of things. And there are a lot of things once we get to AI because we've been using it for a while already, and you should be too. Sharing the screen again. So again, basically you can load up those images very easily. Just go back there for a minute. Boom, there it is in the media library. And now it is a part of all the stuff that you have in here. I should also note that you can, in the future, use that. Remember, I made the mistake with the blog post where the image over here wasn't working. Great thing about this is you could always go back in time and fix it. We're going to replace it. And let's put the Work Smart logo on there. All right. But all these images are now in the library. Set the featured image. Boom. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. All right. And then you could also, we'll talk about this at another time because we're at the 11 o'clock mark. You could also, as a block, add the items as media directly in the post. So let's put that right there. Select, center it. There's a little toolbar that shows up when you click on the item. Save it. All right, and there we go. All right. Google might get a little confused when it sees this blog post, but again, we're going to spruce it up later. It's not going to matter. And again, you have to note this, like, and I've tended to find that people that post, let's go to the next step here. People that post on social media, there's an inner expectation. It's almost an unconscious expectation that their stuff is automatically going to show up in front of millions of people. It is not. And the reason why is because there's millions of people also doing the same exact thing that you are. So when you do your blog post, don't worry if you make little mistakes here and there. Okay? If you got to go back and edit something, by all means, just you don't have to worry too much about getting it picture perfect. What you're really aiming for is getting something out there consistently and then ultimately having that available for the time perhaps 6 weeks later when somebody comes to your website and says, hey, let's take a look at the media and the blog posts and all that stuff. So that's what you're really aiming for. You're aiming for an audience that is not there yet, but you can attract them with this long-term search engine friendly material. And again, the media library is the place where you load up all of that imagery. You can find all your previous media in this tab. It is there for your perusal. And finally, and we're going to close with this, forms. You see some of our forms here, which is pretty darn awesome. I'll start this by saying that Bill Gates wrote an amazing book back in the 90s. I'm actually bringing it up here. Let's go to our Wikipedia page for this. Business at the Speed of Thought. Believe it was in 1999. Yep, 1999. I know this because it's on my bookshelf in the dining room. But basically, this book was an absolute nightmare to read. Bill Gates is a brilliant individual, but he had a habit of using kind of like run-on-ish sentences. Nothing against him, but it was really tough to digest. But I stuck with it. I literally stuck with it for about a year and a half, going through every chapter nice and slowly until I really absorbed the material, right? I'm not as smart as Bill Gates. But then again, I appreciate what he's built. So I absorbed it. And the number one thing that I got out of that book is the use of forms to collect information for a variety of uses, certainly for the benefit of the customer, but also for the benefit of organization of your own company, business or cause, organization, organizing that for yourself. And that's where the form system that we have installed inside every one of our websites by default for all of our clients over the past 10 years, we use something called gravity forms. And basically what it is, it's a very easy, very mobile friendly, and very efficient way of gathering information from potential clients. Now, before I go a little deeper into this, imagine like about 15, 20 years ago, all right? You didn't go to all the time, you didn't go to a form to fill out your credit card information or, your name and address so that you could sign up for a newsletter. Who doesn't need another newsletter these days? You could do all that stuff. But at the same time, it was something brand new. Now it's commonplace. And that's the thing that was amazing about the Bill Gates Business at the Speed of Thought. He was really like projecting ahead by like 15 or 20 years, but also building that stuff in the background. Our version of that for you, the customer, is gravity forms. It's the concept that really, really just brings it on home. I recommend that you check out gravityforms.com. If you're watching this video, check out some of the tutorial information on here, and we'll do another meeting about just using forms. But I'm just going to do a quick form right here and show you how easy it is to create. So we're in forms, again, dashboard, click on forms. And then you're going to head over to the add new button. And you have a variety of different forms that you can use here. Like for instance, the newsletter sign up form, gift certificate form, event registration form, yada, 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 yada form. We're just going to create a blank form. It's always good to know just like the essentials. Okay. And I'm just going to put test form, testing form 2025. This is a form. And we're going to create. And I'm just going to do something really, really basic here. All right. I'm going to put in the person's name, requesting their name. So we got these advanced fields. Let me just go into this a little bit deeper. So you have different types of fields. We're going to go to advanced, name, drop it in. Boom, there's your name. We're going to do phone number because, phone number and email address. And then I like to put like a field for a message. I'll just quickly rename this. We'll go much deeper into this in a future lesson. You don't have to remember this. I just want to show you the overall capabilities. All right. And just for security, we're going to put a reCAPTCHA because we care about security. There it is. And we're going to save the form. All right. Now, in a matter of literally a minute, we've created a new form. And we could load it up to any given page. So we're going to go back. Heck, let's put it into that blog post that we created. Huh? Full circle. Go down here, choose a new block, and we're just going to type form /form. You can also hit the plus button on the right-hand side underneath each block, and then just type in form there. Either way is cool. /form or hit the little plus button. It's, the same thing. Okay, and then you select a form, and where's the test form is there. Boom. And boom. Take off the form title, the description. Okay, and we're going to save it. Now let's check out that blog post again. And lo and behold, there is your form. All right. Now, the reason why we consider this one of the top 3 things that you should be doing with your WordPress site is simply this. It's very efficient. Gravity Forms allows you to collect a variety of data. Some of it you could do easier, like for instance, if you need a shopping cart, somebody's going to fill out a long form, they're not going to bother, one click with Amazon and so on. But as far as collecting information from your customers, survey material, or suggestions for a new product that you want to launch, or maybe if your customer base has an interest in a particular, outside, we're looking into getting information about a new backyard deck that we're going to probably build in 2026, 2027. So we're starting to gather information about it. So we're filling out inquiry forms in order to do that. You can do the same thing in just a few minutes with your website and then share it all over the place on social media, which I'm not going to get into right now. So that's why we find the form system to be very, very useful. Now, we're going to have more of these individual sessions, right? And I appreciate everyone that's been watching this or listening to it in the background, or possibly falling asleep and then waking up during those dramatic pauses that I do when there's like specific tasks. But hopefully, just as a quick recap, I want you to make sure that the top 3 things. We're just going to review this very briefly. You got your dashboard, you got your stats over here. Definitely want to check that out at least once a week. You got your WordFence stuff on the right-hand side. That is going to make sure that your site is secure and reliable. And by the way, just want a side note, and I want to thank Amir for also helping out along with BJ and several other people at Rock Web Systems. But we also perform data backup for your website if you're a client with us every single day. And we manage your website, making sure that it is protected A to Z. And we're very proud of our team for doing that. We appreciate you very much. But yeah, and then the top 3 things that you can do on the website. The first one is posts. You write a blog post. I'll talk with you in a future video about what you do with those blog posts. Media, uploading images. In a future episode, we're going to deep dive how you can use your mobile device in order to automatically upload images from your mobile phone right into your website so that you could use it for the future. And finally, the form system. where you can very quickly collect all sorts of information that might be useful for the general public. Example of that, just a little form that we built for a community advertising program. It's been very useful for us, okay? And it can be useful for you too, if you use that form system. You know, back when I was a young sprite in this industry, I thought as a philosopher guy is Confucius, and apparently just there was this quote that I heard that historically he said to his followers because he was Confucius, and he basically philosophized, "Why the hell won't anybody ever listen to me?" So, if you get anything out of this, the most important thing, because you're not going to absorb all the stuff that I told you today. Who would? If I was listening to myself, I'd check out in 5 seconds. But the overall premise of this is to consistently use your WordPress site over and over again so that you can ultimately build a great digital presence. We have done this over the last 18 years, not just for ourselves, but also for our many valued clients. Again, over 600 of them over the past 17, 18 years and counting. So we're really proud of our team and the work that we do over here. And we're obviously always here for support for you. But use the tools, use that stuff. And the formula that I encourage for you is at very least baseline 30 minutes a week. And I tell people all the time this: make some coffee, get in front of your website for 30 minutes and start doing stuff with it. What are the most important 3 things that you do with it? 1 is your blog posts. 2 is uploading images and videos and all that cool stuff. And 3 is working with the form system. As we brought up with Gravity Forms and Bill Gates brought up in 1999, to collect information so that both your customers remain happy for the long term and your organization continues to grow over the course of time. So thank you very much for being here today. Again, my name is Tom Osa. We're going to be doing these approximately once a week. This is the intro course. The future ones are probably going to be about 30 minutes because I'm going to look at this afterwards and be like, oh my God, I talk too much. But it's cool. You got a lot of stuff to do. But definitely, we appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And of course, if you have any questions, please send an email to us at support@rocklandsweb.com, or, and I'll leave you with this, we also have a support tab on our website. I'm just going to bring this up. And boom, there we go, for virtual assistants. And we have a great team that can help you with anything that you need in order to grow your business over the course of time. My name is Tom Osa. Thanks for being here, and we hope to see you in the future. Take care for now.